What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Scorch gameplay, and today we're going to be talking about the SLC. Does this weapon need more adjustments, or is it fine exactly where it's at? Let's head over and let's talk about it. So this is the SLC, and this thing is an absolute burner. So as you can see here at the uncommon level, there is a body shot damage of 13 with a range of 9, mag size of 30, fire rate of 13.89. As you level it up, it does increase the mag size at that rare level. At the epic level, it does increase the hip fire accuracy and removes the in-air jump penalty. And the legendary version of it has suppressing fire and also reduces recoil. Now, there are a lot of people out there that swear, ever since the D40 got its nerf, that the SLC effectively kind of slotted into that position for those up close quarters engagements. Now, me on the other hand, I do enjoy running the SLC. I've thought that the SLC has been a pretty solid weapon all the way around ever since, Rogue Company first started making changes to weapons and everything like that. The SLC was always that weapon that got some changes occasionally, but never anything super substantial to either put it up in #1 spot in the meta or to make it drop completely out of relevancy whenever they did any of those changes. It always felt really good. It always felt very reliable, but it exists in this weird in-between area, right? Because it doesn't really compete with the LMPX or the current version of the D40 at range. It doesn't have that punch potential that the Knight has, and it also doesn't win a lot of close quarters engagements against other SMGs like the Objection and even the dual Boyers at times. It exists, it's a well-rounded weapon, but it just kind of exists within its own category to where it's good if you know how to use the weapon, if you know how to play around with the weapon and account for some of the downfalls that the weapon has. It's a phenomenal weapon. It plays really good and it feels very good. But depending on what range you're taking engagements and what you're going up against, it falls short. So you have to play a little bit more cautiously. You have to be a little bit more selective about whenever you take your opportunity, whenever you take your time to actually pounce on the enemy and things like that. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad weapon. I don't think that it needs any type of real adjustments or anything. I just think that it exists in this weird middle ground. And it's not particularly easy to use. I mean, it has some pretty significant recoil associated with it, and the weapon shots are kind of all over the place, especially whenever you're hip firing it. And the range on the weapon only going from 8 to 9, I think. If it even moves at all, it may stay at 9 the entire time through the upgrade path. You really can feel that fall off. Now, should they rain the fall off for all the SMGs in? That's a whole different topic. That's a whole different, grounds of conversation. But with a mag size of 40, you can still burn someone down at a pretty decent mid-range with the SLC. You may use all your bullets in the process of doing that that's in that magazine, but you're still going to be successful at being able to down those people. It really does feel like it's designed to be in this close quarters engagement area. But before, Jared's untimely departure from Rogue Company, he decided to buff the range of the Objection, and that to me has effectively slotted it in as the close quarters, barrel stuff SMG. I mean, it just does so much damage so quickly that it's hard to compete. It's almost the shotgun killer, right? If you run the Objection, you get into that optimal range, then the Objection beats the shotgun almost every single time, regardless of what shotgun they're running, just because of how quickly it fires and how much damage output it does. SLC is a little bit more well-rounded than the Objection, but also it suffers a lot because it's more well-rounded. So it exists in this weird in-between spot, and I don't think buffing the range or the damage itself of the weapon is the right move for them to do anything with it moving forward. I mean, it already does a body shot damage of 13. That's not counting headshot multipliers or anything like that. So it was right there flirting that line of doing this pretty much the same amount of damage almost as the D40, with a fire rate that was very similar to the D40. But the reason that the D40 was very OP, in my opinion, was specifically because of the range. They could have peeled the range of that weapon back instead of nerfing the fire rate of it, and it would have been fine. It would have been a hard-hitting, you know, closer range SMG, as opposed to this hard-hitting universal SMG that can do everything every other weapon does in the game, but it does it better and it does it faster. So the SLC does exist in this like weird middle ground territory, and I think that it's fine that it exists there. I think that there's weapons that do need to exist there, because there's people that swear by this weapon and that's been playing this weapon since day one and have not deviated from this whatsoever and stay true to the course. There's some people out there that would rather play other options that best benefits their play style in that particular match. So the SLC kind of feels like the Swiss Army SMG at the moment. It does have the range, it does have the close quarters, it does have a really good fire rate. It is something that you do have to learn how to control just a little bit, because it is very aggressive with the recoil. But once you kind of overcome that and figure out how that actually works, then you're able to do some pretty impressive things with the SLC. But be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on the SLC? Do you think that anything needs to happen with the weapon, or anything needs to change with the weapon? If so, what do you think that those things are? Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays around 11 p.m. Central Time and Sundays around 10 a.m. Central Time, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you are interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys. I don't like all these fucking doors open. I'm closing these fucking doors.
Why you did that? Fraction. Do it now?
Yeah. Here, I'll shoot it. Once again.
Watch on that side.
They're coming from the mid. Yeah.
You bitch! Oh, on the truck.
Hill controlled. Hill controlled.
Goes what? Here goes another one.
Hill controlled.
Again.
Hill controlled.
Are we all over here? She's right here.
How did she lose that?
Play with fire, you got
Movement.
Utility out.
Ooh. The G-Man cometh.
I got some revive. Pick that fucking sniper up more than. Like, hey, maybe don't get that close to him when you just have a sniper.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're as good as that one dude.